Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you're here because today I feel like I have a really fun, exciting little video. Today I'm going to be talking about books that I would take with me on spring break if I were going on spring break. Unfortunately, that is not a thing because I am 25 and no longer have a spring break, which is so unfortunate. And I'll never get that back. I'm not trying to have like a minty beat today, so I'm not gonna think about that. I'm gonna be talking about books that either I have not read yet and would take with me because I feel like they would be great, fun spring break reads or beach reads, or books that I have read, only a couple actually. I only have a few in here that I've actually read that I would take as rereads. So I'm very excited to talk about these books. I actually have a lot. I didn't realize I had as many beach reads as I did. I actually have a lot more that I feel like I could take with me on spring break if I were to go on spring break, but these were the ones that I felt like fit the vibe the most. So I'm gonna try to go through these as quickly as I can. I tend to talk a lot and like over explain things, so I'm just gonna try to stick to what the back of the book says, kind of explain to you guys why I would take it on spring break with me, and you let me know if you would take it with you or if you've already read it and you agree. I guess we'll go ahead and hop right on into it. Let's do it. Okay, so the first book, and the one that I feel like is probably obvious because of my TBR, if you watched my TBR video, go check that out if you haven't yet, is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I'm actually just now starting this book. This is on my March TBR. I am literally only on page 11. But it is definitely giving that like spring break, summery, warm weather vibe. It is dual timeline. So it's basically about a girl named Persephone that ends up going back home for a weekend and ends up running into her childhood love, childhood crush, and kind of best friend. Honestly, it's giving Love in Other Words a little bit, but this one has a like cottage and lake involved, I believe, and I just felt like this one would be a really good one to take on a spring break trip. It's also like a pretty short book. It's only, let's see, it's 304 pages. So it's literally right at that 300 page mark if you want a light, likely fast paced read. It's supposed to go back and forth in timeline of showing Persephone and Sam's relationship in present time where they haven't spoken in years, and then it goes back in time into the past, talks about their relationship kind of growing up and just being best friends together, and then what happens in the present time. So I think this is like a really fun one, and I feel like a lot of people might enjoy this one on spring break. So I know I would too, probably. I have enjoyed the first 10 pages, so there we go. The next book I have to talk about is The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. This is set in the Outer Banks, and that's kind of why I threw this one into this video. This one is about a girl named Maggie who is sent away to live with her aunt in the Outer Banks at 16. She ends up meeting a boy that lives in the Outer Banks and kind of shows her around the town. They start hanging out. They become very close. He inspires her to start kind of testing the waters with photography, it sounds like, and then she falls in love with photography and becomes an actual photographer for a living. A few years later, she ends up with a medical diagnosis of some sort that restricts her from being able to really do anything. While she's struggling with this diagnosis, it says she ends up talking to her younger assistant who she ends up getting very close to. She starts telling him about a story, maybe some memories or something like that, and the love that set her on a course she never could have imagined. So I feel like this one could be a very wholesome read. It's by Nicholas Sparks. I mean, come on. This will probably be a tearjerker. Don't know if you'd want to read a tearjerker on the beach or wherever you would be going for spring break. I love to feel emotions, so this would be a great pick for me because it's Nicholas Sparks and I feel like it would rip my heart out like every other book he's ever written. So I would also take this one with me. Okay, next up we have The Summer of Broken Wolves. Wolves don't even make that noise. Next we have The Summer of Broken Why do I want to say wolves? Oh my god. The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. So this one is about a girl named Meredith Fox who ends up losing her sister Claire and just kind of puts the world on hold and everything that she has going on for herself. She ends up on a family vacation to a vineyard for a big wedding in the family. Apparently there's this tradition of a family game that they all play whenever all of the family gets together. When she forms an alliance with a groomsman of the wedding, she ends up getting kind of distracted from this game, and now she's at risk of losing that game and also risking her heart in the process. I feel like this would be a really fun read. I love the cover of it as well. I think that this is one of the cutest covers that I have currently on my TBR. But yeah, I thought this one sounded super cute, and I feel like I would love to sit in the sand and read this book while on spring break. So there we have it, The Summer of Broken Rules. So cute, look at that. Okay, this one is so basic, I know, but I had to throw it in here. It's an obvious pick, but it is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This is a series, of course. I feel like everyone and their mother knows about this series, but it's such a cute little read. I actually haven't finished the series. What? You haven't finished the series, Brie? That's shocking. I'm terrible at finishing series. Oh well. Oh my gosh, I just saw my birthday. July 2nd. This one I have read, the first book of the series I have read, and it's just a sweet, sweet read. It's basically about a girl named Belly. I actually hate that her nickname is Belly. Anyway, and her mom and brother always go to this beach house every year for the summer to spend time with her mom's best friend and her sons. As Belly has gotten older and matured a little bit, the boys end up noticing, of course, she's always been in love with Conrad. There's also some lingering stuff that happens with Jeremiah, as well as a little bit of distraction from another boy named Cam. This one is actually just such a sweet, quick little young adult read. And I mean, come on, it's totally giving spring break as well. This one is so fast paced. I would highly recommend this one to read while you are hanging out on spring break for sure. All right, you guys know this cannot be a spring break reads, summer reads, warm weather reads video, recommendation video, might I add, without including some Emily Henry. Okay, are you shocked? Don't ever be shocked when you see this name right here, okay? Of course, I'm going to throw in Emily Henry for any sort of summer read. Beach read by Emily Henry. I feel like I don't need to explain this one, honestly, or really even Happy Place, but these ones are my top twos of Emily Henry so far. I actually will probably reread this in the summertime. I may potentially do a reread video on it because I just love it so, so much. This one is basically about Augustus Everett and January Andrews. They're both authors and they kind of have this rival relationship. They are literal polar opposites. They could not be further apart when it comes to writing, especially. He is the more serious writer that has a lot of like research-based content in his writing, and she is obviously more of the like lighthearted, loving writing. They both end up finding out that they are actually next door neighbors in their beach houses for the next 3 months, and so they come up with this challenge for each other, kind of out of spite a little bit, because they do have this like rival relationship, to see if one can use the other's writing style and see if they can actually write a book that could be successful. This one is so good. Seeing their relationship and how it progresses and the challenges that they come across throughout doing this, it's amazing. And all the side characters in this story, the little side moments and stories, so good. Take this one for sure. And then I had to throw in Happy Place as well. This one might be a little bit more of like a lake vibe. This one is set at a cottage with a bunch of friends. Harriet and Wynne were once engaged. They end up breaking off their engagement. None of their friends know. And they try to keep it that way so that their friends can enjoy their last moments together at this cottage. The cottage that they go to every single year together is actually for sale now. So this is going to be the last time that they have to spend at this cottage together, and obviously they want it to go perfectly, so they don't want any of their friends knowing that they have broken off their engagement. It's kind of like a fake engagement situation. It's so amazing. Like I said with Beach Read, the side characters and side stories in this book are phenomenal. The friendships in this book are incredible. Some of the best that I've read. I just highly recommend this book anyway, but especially if you are going on spring break, because it just gives the warm weather vibes, that cottagey, just warm feel. This is the book to take. Also, I do not know what, actually I do know what happened with this book. I had it on display at one point where the sun comes in through one of the windows in one of our other rooms. I had another book kind of staggered in front of it a little bit lower, and so now it's like got a sun print. Not a sunburn, a sun print. Whatever, it makes it unique. It's fine. I also did want to throw in Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This one is the first book of the Knock 'Em Out series. I've been super excited to read this one, but it is so stinking thick and it's a series. Kind of been putting it off, not gonna lie. This one is basically about Naomi Witt, who is kind of on the run from her entire life at this point. She's just like going through a lot. She is trying to help out her twin sister Tina, helps her out with a car and some money, and then Tina just up and leaves, and she leaves behind her 11-year-old daughter. There is also a male character involved named Knox. Knox ends up figuring out about this whole situation with Naomi and ends up trying to help her out. This one just sounded really good. It's not really like a beachy style read, I don't think. It just sounded really fun, and I love the cover of this one too, and just thought this would be a cute one to have on spring break, you know? This one is also dual POV as well, which I love. It looks like it goes back and forth between Naomi and Knox, which I'm so excited about. So this is yet another one that I would take on my spring break trip. And then lastly, of course, I would take with me any of these Elin Hilderbrand books that I have. Haven't read any of them yet, but they, of course, all give off very beachy vibes. So I don't know which one I would take with me, but they all are set, I believe, at the beach. I have just heard that Elin Hilderbrand is an incredible author, period, but that she also writes some really, really, really good beach reads. Every time I go to the beach, I feel like I see an Elin Hilderbrand book somewhere being read. So I would for sure take at least one of these. I just love the vibes that these books give off, and I cannot wait to read an Elin Hilderbrand book at some point soon. And I wish it was on a spring break trip, but that's okay. I will be going to the beach in a couple months, and I'm very excited for that trip. So I'll probably be bringing some of these books with me. That is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you are going on a spring break trip and if you would take any of these books with you, or if you've read them and if you would recommend them for a spring or a summer break trip. Hopefully I did a good job. I think I would definitely take them on my spring break trip. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Happy spring break. Bye.